Happy New Year. And welcome to Friends Like Us. I'm Marina Franklin here for you. Welcome. Happy New Year to you all. Welcome back. This is our first episode of the new year. This is the live. This live is to promote the podcast. Everyone seems to have a podcast nowadays, but nothing like Friends Like Us. Nothing like Friends Like Us, which is scrolling underneath me. If you didn't know, if you're new to my page, if you're new to my live, tell me where you're watching us from. Friends Like Us is available to you on all platforms. It's available, and I know I'm wearing this awful. I should address this. I'm cold. Friends Like Us is available on all platforms. It's available on Apple Podcasts. It's available on Spotify. It's available wherever you can get your podcasts. And I am the host, and it features women of color speaking about hot topics. And we also have occasional guests like a white or a man once a month, sometimes more than once a month. So it's a heavy flow, but it's like our period, yes. And this past 2 weeks, we've been celebrating two of our favorite episodes. We have one with Janice Adams and Africa Miranda, and it's a really great episode because Janice is like legendary. She was married to Max Roach. I don't know if you know who Max Roach is, but you should know. Percussionist. He was in the movie Carmen with Dorothy Dandridge. I've been forgetting a lot lately. I have brain fog. And hello, Victor Vernado. Hi, how are you? Happy New Year to you. And I want to thank you all for the birthday wishes. I don't think, Victor, you wished me a happy birthday. So, you know what? I take back my Happy New Year. Screw you. But maybe you did. It was so many. You know, the best thing about social media is that for a Christmas baby, I finally get like birthday wishes. Like having a birthday on Christmas is the hardest thing because people really don't, they forget that I'm Jesus. It's crazy. Oldest joke ever. Your mama's a skeleton. I hope she's watching. Okay. Victor, I hope your mama's watching. And we will be joined soon. If you didn't know this, I do this every Saturday. We've taken some time off, obviously, for the holidays. It's been a long time, but we do this every Saturday to promote the podcast and the episodes that will be having on the show. This week for the new year, it's a great episode with all comedians. We have Kenise Mobley, we have Pat Brown, and Vanessa Fraction. It's a really great episode. Hard one to edit. Takes me forever, but you know what? I'm good. I'm good at editing. It's amazing how good I've become at doing something that I should be paying someone else to do, but still, it's great. Uh, hmm. And I have some new people working for me, actually, some young students who hopefully are watching. Hopefully, Duncan, you're on and you're watching. You're part of a program from New York City that is students who will be part of the Friends Like Us, and then I'm excited to be a part of that. Hello, oh, Africa is here. Compliments to you as well. Do you speak French? I could say bonne année. It gives me that opportunity. Oh, South Africa. Okay. Oh, too much love back at you. You know, I have been using my Facebook more than ever, and it has a far, far more reach than I've ever could imagine. I had a guest on the podcast, Zainab Johnson, who was telling me to get my old ass on Facebook, and just it's amazing. There's a lot of she's right. It's it's the place for me. I guess I am old as a skeleton. Um, Victor. So hello, Mike Dickachew. Yes. And Dave Juskow will be with us soon. So I hope you're all having like a wonderful new year start to the new year so far. It's been a crazy one, right? We've had a lot of things going on in the internet world. We've had Katt Williams, who I guess we should. I don't even think Dave Juskow, by the way, when he joins us, it's funny because I'll talk about Katt Williams and the whole controversy in the YouTube video and how he basically broke the internet with that interview with Shannon Sharpe. And if you haven't seen it, go and see it and watch the entire interview. Okay. It's the Shay Shay, it's Club Shay Shay on YouTube. Watch the entire interview. It's 2 hours and 46 minutes. And when I tell you, it is the best 2 hours and 46 minutes you will ever spend watching someone get interviewed. I'm not lying. It is unbelievable. I sat there and I cannot tell you how, like, many times I watch shows and right now I'll get bored and I'll just go on my phone. I'll start looking at my phone. I'll like take a break, wash dishes, somebody calls me. I'll even go back to a movie sometimes like 3 days later. I watched Indiana Jones and like it took me a month because I just as much of the car chasing and the explosive whatever they think that keeps our minds, on it, didn't do it. But this interview with Club Shay Shay, Shay Shay La Femme, Shay Shay La Fine, because I don't know if you're following me on Instagram, but I posted a little clip, little snapshot, not a clip, a picture of Shannon Sharpe when he's sitting in the interview. I have never seen a man exactly situate himself in the manner that he did as he was interviewed. I mean, it was 2 hours and 46 minutes, so maybe he did need to stretch. I'm pretty sure, but thank the Lord for it. Because it was wonderful. He's a wonderful specimen of a man. His body, I've never paid that much attention to him because I've seen him on shows with suits, and he was wearing a leisure outfit, and it was like beige. Everyone makes fun of his voice, and for obvious reasons. He has a very he has it's like a lisp or something. I don't want to make fun of someone who can't. I don't know if he could control it. Don't matter. I tell you what, it don't matter because Shay Shay LaFon can get it. Okay, Cat interview on Shay Shay has it's at 23 million views now. When I watched it, I swear to God, it was at 64K. It was like 6 o'clock on a Sunday, I think it was. Yeah. It went from that to like, I think it was like 6 million overnight. Like, I think in 4 hours or something like. And I've been having these arguments with, I will not say, with comedians about whether or not it's entertaining or destructive or whatever. Whatever you think about this, whatever opinion you have, sure, some of it's unhealthy. Sure. I cannot tell a lie. It was the best stand-up I have seen. It was like almost watching like it was his comedy special. It was hilarious. There were some gems that he's just a funny man. Hands down, Katt Williams. I don't know too many people. I don't know anyone who says he's not funny. I don't know that person. If they exist, can you find them for me? But I don't know anyone, and he shows it here. And it was 23 million views. Okay, so with all that, the responses don't even get that. There are people trying to get on top of that and get something from responding to that. I put up a cat video. I didn't want to go in because I don't like the back and forth. I'm gonna be honest. Why has he not interviewed Eddie Griffin yet? Oh, that's a good one. I don't know. That would be a great interview. I'm sure, in the interview, he said, after this, you're going to be getting a lot of comics. I hope I'm one. I don't know if I can handle it, though, if he's sitting in that manner. I don't think a lot of you probably don't know this about me, but this girl's going through menopause. Okay. Things ain't moving downstairs. Not lately. Okay? And I watched that interview. Something moved when he was sitting in that position. So I don't know if he could interview me because I don't know if I could I don't know. I'm gonna just say. And I don't think I'm his type either. I think I've seen his type. And I could tell from the interview what his type is from his questions with Kat about women being toxic. I'm not a toxic female. Oh, I'm not hot, Eric. I just get hot flashes, but right now I'm just glowing because I'm talking about Shay Shay. That's what I'm gonna call him. Shannon Sharpe. He's my Shay Shay Lafone. So this is my new thing. I'm late to the party, I guess. I don't know. Have women been talking about him like this? My trainer says he's always had a really nice body, and my trainer, by the way, he's got a girlfriend, but he has no problem saying this. But I have to be honest with you, like okay, so since I do want to say this first off, I know I'm gonna have a lot of new viewers on here because my Facebook page has got like thank you for being new followers on my Facebook page. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you to social media for being that place that puts out things that people may not have seen. One of the best parts of that Katt Williams interview is that he was talking about gatekeepers. And I can't like whatever you think about that interview and if you like the people that he was dissing or whatever, like of course there's a long history of black comics that do this where they like kind of like go in on each other. I mean, Kat says he didn't talk about anyone who didn't talk about him. So, hey. Um But oh, I forgot my whole point. It's gone. See, menopause, it's a bitch. But if you're new to my page, just so you know, like social media. There are gatekeepers. That was the whole point of that interview for me. There are people that we come up with that become gatekeepers. And we know them. And a lot of times, like when you're a comedian in the world, and I know I've talked about this with Roy Wood Jr., like we're around even our family members who talk about people to us like we don't do like it's hard. It's hard because we know these people for years. And so we keep a lot of secrets about who they really are because we just don't I don't like to trash people. But there are people in the scene that are toxic. There are people in the scene that are gatekeepers. There are people in the scene who, when they become famous, they don't open the doors for the people who came up with them, who they were competing with. That is real. Okay. And so a part of that was like you watch it as a comic and you feel a little bit like, yes. Okay. Now, I love Faison. Faison has always been good to me. So I felt bad. I felt a little bad about that one. But I know Faison has shown some hate to other people, so I guess there's vindication there. But I really like Faison. Faison has always had a lot of respect for comedy as a craft, and a lot of people don't know that, but I do. And yeah, the Steve Harvey stuff. I don't know Steve Harvey, but I've heard a lot of stories, and I don't. I'm gonna say this. There's not a lot of sympathy. I mean, that Ocean's 11 story is one I can't get past that. Once I hear that you called a studio and you asked Bernie Mac to not be on the studio, I have a hard time getting past that. Some comics feel that Cat is crazy. And so why are we feeding into the crazies? And and some have said that he's a lot like Trump. I don't know. All I know is, like you said, 23 million views. There has to be something there that people really wanted to get into. Something about messiness, but I don't think it's just messiness. I also think like people are so hungry for the truth, whatever that truth is. They are so hungry for it. They really, and they also want to know the the mess behind the comedy scene. They want to know these relationships. You remember we used to have soap operas, All My Children. They just did a General Hospital like rewind and anniversary. I can't even believe General Hospital is still on the air. And they had that on, I think it was the night before, an anniversary, like I think it's 60 years or something of General Hospital. Let me tell you, it was just for me, it was just a show where I could see everyone's plastic surgeon's job and who's doing well, who's eating health, there's not a lot of black folks, so it was a good way to see how people, deal with aging. Now, before my friend joins us, and he will be joining us soon. He's a little late today, but so a lot of you don't know him, but Dave Juskow. Oh, it's snowing. It's snowing in New York, everybody. Oh, so Mr. Noise, it was all the messy that drove the views. Hello, beautiful Stace Williams. Hello. Hello. Yeah, the messiness. We love some messiness, right? Hey, Kevin, Happy New Year. So our friend is Juskow is here. He's backstage. He will be joining us. So just so you know, I promote my podcast, which this is not the podcast. But we will be putting more clips up on YouTube Live from the podcast because of my young student who is now a part of the program, is part of the New York City program where they take care of students and they with jobs, and I think this is a wonderful job to have. So I'm really happy to be a part of that program and employ someone who is going to be helping us promote more of the actual podcast that I do in audio form and video form on YouTube. This is the live with me promoting my podcast that features women of color with my white friend. I don't know why I do it like that, but I get, Dave Juskow he's available. Okay. He's also he's gone. Oh, he must be having some issues. So he didn't hear that. But yes, so he'll be joining us soon. And yes, I want to say Happy New Year to you all. Here we go. Are you ready to rock it with the David Juskow? I'm a black friend. Who is your black friend? All right, here we go. Stop drinking and eating and be professional, why don't you?
Hello,
Hello,
everybody.
David Juskow. What?
It started snowing outside,
It did. It
or
just
as I
started.
always do the Back to the Future one when I look outside, the storm. Because
Say
we've
hi
been
to everyone.
expecting it.
I have a lot of new fans on Facebook due to
Right. Oh, you're for real? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yes, from Facebook because I've been posting more of my stand-up clips on Facebook. So there's a lot of people here
It's
watching that may
wonderful.
be new.
Unfortunately, no one uses Facebook anymore. But I feel
They do for old folks like you.
I know I still use it too.
Here's the crazy part. It's like we've been talking about this on the podcast. Look at this, Uganda.
Mm,
Welcome, Uganda.
I
Happy
saw
New
that.
Year.
Now I'm
Or
going to try and pronounce that name.
bon année. Do not try.
Marita Juma Tubbins. That T
So,
has to be silent.
how do you know that?
I don't know. How else would you pronounce it? Vons.
Mm,
Tvons. Tvons.
You're freezing a little bit,
I am?
just a tiny.
Well, you're not freezing, and I don't feel like I'm freezing, but maybe I don't know why I would be freezing.
I'm freezing. That's why I have this on.
No, I am freezing. Yeah, I'm freezing. I don't want to put on my heater because once it goes on, it gets really hot.
M-
Right?
did he say your name right?
Of course I
Marie
said it right.
Sure.
I know
He
how
said
to.
I like.
You think I don't know how to pronounce Ugandan names? Come on.
Yes. You
Marina,
offensive
please.
bastard. Yes.
DJ, I mean, what? As if.
Yes. And hopefully my young student is on. I have some new young high school students who are going to be working for the podcast.
Of course you do. But if I did that, everybody would make fun of me. So how is that fair? If I hired high school students to help me, I get in trouble with the law. But for you, for some reason, by the way, your teeth look phenomenal.
I brushed them before I joined, and I
They're so
wanted
white.
that compliment. That was my goal. I said, I want to have Juskow go, your teeth are so white. I did it.
Yeah, they
Oh
look terrific.
my God.
Shannon Sharpe. Actually, I kind of do think he's hot. I think
Ooh,
he's hot. I think he's a good commentator.
having a hot flash. Speaking of hot, you brought up
Plus, I
Shannon
think Shannon
Sharpe.
Sharpe, but I'm not positive. One of those guys does the Nickelodeon football games, which are really fun, but I don't know whether it's him.
Did you see the interview?
With what? Did you have Shannon Sharpe on?
Oh my God. Everyone, please, in the comments section, explain why it's funny what he just did. He doesn't know. This is
I,
why you got to have white friends.
I have no idea what's happening.
Hello, Duncan. This is my young student. Hello.
I know I can, DJ. I know I can. Isn't that
Say hello
funny?
to Duncan. He's
Hi,
our new student who's working with the podcast.
oh, hello, Duncan.
Yes, and he's very smart. And he's going to be helping us with our
When you say
YouTube
you
channel.
said they're in high school. I mean, where'd you even find them? I'm not even allowed to look online for high school kids.
It's a program that I am a part of now. That one of our members from the podcast, Suzette Simon. Do you know Suzette? Oh God, I'm supposed to write her back. Suzette is she's a breast cancer survivor,
Oh,
and she's also very funny. And she's done a lot of and so she told me about this program in New York City where you could hire students, and the city will actually pay them. This is their job.
really?
Yeah, and he's really
Really?
yeah, and he's I'll tell you about the program. I think it's too late for you though, but I'll
Well,
tell
no,
you
it's
about it.
funny. I was I actually need teaching assistant for my class, like really small jobs that would make things a lot easier for me. They're very easy, but I wasn't sure how to approach it since, since everybody would make fun of me. Like I said, that's why I'm surprised this is okay for you.
Yeah, no, it's great, and he's wonderful. We had a talk this week, and it's I don't know why I've never done this before. It makes sense. It's like anyway, back to this interview with Katt Williams.
Oh, I just saw. Is he in the news or something? Because I just saw Richie.
Uh,
Somebody just posted something about him. Is he dead?
Okay, let me just go back to this comment. This is how many people there are in the world. Look at this.
She has 23 million views. Well, what does that mean?
23 million views, and you're like, is he on the news or something?
Well, did he die?
Okay, so I'm gonna explain what happened. He did not die.
Because I just saw something on Facebook just now before I tuned into your show. Richie Redding.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
Shay, yeah, he is clueless. Shannon Sharpe has
Oh,
a podcast channel. It's called Club Shay,
that makes
where
sense.
he is interviewing people, and this interview broke the 23 million within I would say it was 16 million, 6 million in 24 hours.
Shannon Sharpe has a brother. That's why I can't remember which one I like and which one I didn't like.
And so he interviewed Katt Williams, and Katt Williams went in the first 5 minutes basically on Steve Harvey and oh my God, my menopause is starting to act it up. You guys got to help me because my menopause just came in. Steve Harvey.
Menopause, like you can't think, or you're getting hot.
I get foggy. I get
That's a menopause thing.
yeah, it happens. Cedric the Entertainer. He went on
Like he
Cedric.
went off on them like that. They're dicks.
He revealed stuff.
Ooh,
Exactly. You see where look at you. Look at you.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Kevin Hart.
Ooh, good. I hate
Look,
all of those people.
the guy who's whiter than you. He said Kevin Hart. He went on about Ice Cube, Tiffany Haddish. He didn't say anything bad about Tiffany though. He did say good things, like he liked Wanda Sykes. He talked about a woman named Wanda Smith who does interviews. How
Now I see why this kid is saying he's like, oh, he's really nice. He shook my hand. He's like, talk that shit, Kat. Like people are supporting. Now I see why this is okay. So,
because it's about gatekeepers.
mm,
It's about revealing the gatekeepers in the stand-up world, and it b- for s- it went viral because I think a lot of people just don't know the scene, and they, like that little moment where comics come on stage and they talk, like people want to know. Oh yeah, he gave props to Mark Curry.
Mark
Here's the
Curry.
reveal that was the
Who's Mark
most.
Curry?
Mark Curry hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Oh, are we sure his name is Mark? Oh, Mark Curry. Oh, what happened to him?
He didn't say anything bad about Ice Cube. No, I didn't say that. He said something about the people who said they didn't get paid
Well, why can't they talk about Chelsea Handler and what a asshole she is or something?
because that's not
He
his
only
world.
deals with black people?
Actually, he was very specific about this isn't a color thing. Said this is about a bad thing, bad people thing, and these are people who said something
Why
about
can't he
him
Nelson Chelsea Handler?
because he was talking about people who said something
I got
about
it.
him.
Yeah.
Now, here's the reveal that was the most egregious was that he said that Steve Harvey called the studios of Ocean's 11 and asked to have Bernie Mac removed.
Why?
That it,
Because he wanted to play the part?
yeah, that's what he was,
Steve Harvey,
and
I
Ricky
always liked
Smiley
Steve
was another one
Harvey,
he went off
and then
on.
as soon as I found out when he, announced the wrong, like, Miss America sometime, I've always been angry that he still gets work. I mean, how do you fuck that up? Remember when he did that?
Well, then you would love this interview
Yeah.
because when I
No, I
say he
would.
went in on Steve Harvey,
I
he
like
went
people that talk shit.
in. He
Yeah,
talked
I've heard
about the kings of comedy and how
I
he didn't
believe I heard that Steve Harvey's also an asshole, like, he doesn't let people look him in the eye. He's one of those guys, right?
Yeah, he talked about how the
Now you're
kings of
reminding me.
comedy, how he didn't it was his show, but he didn't headline it.
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, he didn't headline it.
Bernie Mac did.
Right. Was he okay with Bernie Mac? I thought everybody liked him.
That's the thing. That's
Now
what the reveal was, is that like there was this whole like he was revealing a lot of mess.
that's cool. I like that. I mean,
I,
if people are,
that's why 23 million people were watching,
wow. I
and on
wonder why he
top of
chose
it,
the Shannon Sharpe show to do it on. That's even more
well,
interesting.
because Shannon Sharpe was actually really good at interviewing him. Some people it's debatable, but listen, here's the other part.
Is it as good as uh, Gallagher walking off on the Mark Maron podcast?
No one's talking. This will be talked about. Let me just put it
I
into
can't wait to hear it
perspective
now.
for you. Chappelle has a special out right now.
And Chappelle
And
is who?
the list of
Thank you.
the list was revealed of the Epstein list. This trumped
Oh,
the
right. Jimmy
Epstein
Kimmel's on that list.
this trumped the Epstein list. This was
Wow.
people were talking about this. This is
So,
what I'm
so they
saying.
finally did reveal that list.
It was I think
I've
the
been
list
waiting for that.
I don't really know. That's why I'm telling you. The list was like there was like a false list, there was a real this
The
the
false
whole
list has Jimmy Kimmel on it, right? That's what Aaron
the
Rodgers was
false
saying.
list had Wanda Sykes on it, had Whoopi Goldberg on it. It had Greg Rogel apparently on it.
Oh my God,
It's a
that's
false
epic.
list.
That's right. He was doing that. He was
Juskow,
cheating
you're
on
on the
you back then.
list.
Yeah, I'd give anything to be on that list. I wish I was DJ. That would be. I didn't know he was up to no good.
Okay, Mr. Noise, you don't think he did a good job, and he let him rant with a few interjections. Here's the thing, Jessica. I've never looked at Shannon Sharpe as being sexy ever in my life. He's always in suits. In this interview, he was wearing this outfit and he was striking this pose that I'm gonna show you. And when I tell you I haven't been turned on by a man in quite some time, this could
I
be the
know.
menopause. I don't know what it is. Something moved down there. I have never seen a body. He was bodying. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna pull that up. You could talk well.
Well, actually, I was going to ask you how the rest of your New Year's was after I saw you.
I went to sleep.
Oh,
That's how the rest of
what time
mine.
did you leave?
I I left right when I text you. What time was that?
Oh, right. I told you to come over to the bar, and then you had left.
And we were
Yeah.
all old.
And
We're
you left with Lois, or did she stay?
Yeah, Lois, she was with me.
She drive you home?
Oh yeah, she drove me and Kyle Doonigan.
Who?
I call him Doonigan. Kyle Dunnigan.
Oh, what is? Oh,
You don't know who Kyle Dunnigan
no,
is?
of course I do. I
He
didn't
drove.
see him
He was
there. That's
there.
why he must have come after I
He
left.
came after. He was
I
hanging out.
left around. I just kind of cut out around 12:30. Went across the street.
Oh, Stace has to run for an appointment. Bye, Stace.
Bye, Stace.
Shannon is jacked. That's why I'm
Of
about
course
to
he's
share
jacked.
this
He's a
photo.
football player and a Super
No,
Bowl.
but it did. This was. I have to say, I was not
You know,
prepared.
this kind of guy like him who's been out of football for like 10 years. I mean, why he's probably still really young. I
Do you
wonder if
see
he's even
this?
50.
Look at that.
And for me, that's not
Oh
exciting.
my God.
Thank God. All right.
Look at the amount of people though. This has almost 500 views or whatever, or not views, but how many people liked it. But the thing is like everyone on here is like, yep, 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 yep. I just said I just want a
That's the way he
man.
was sitting in the interview.
That was the
That would
shot. It
be
was like
unnerving to me.
there was a camera that's it was like Kat was talking and then the camera went here and I said, "What the?"
How old is he? Do we know? I'm gonna look it up.
I think he's in his 50s.
Oh, he
I
is
think
in
he's
his
like
50s?
50.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like 50.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
55. I didn't know we were
Oh,
so who's his
wow.
brother?
And he dated
Oh, Sterling Sharpe. Okay.
yes, thank you, Mike Dickatu.
Right,
He
so
was
he won
mansplaining.
with the Broncos.
He won with Marina.
But he is the one on oh, maybe he's not the one on CBS. Who am I thinking of?
You getting your black people confused?
I am. Well, I know he has a brother too. CBS.
Mr. Noise, watch your mouth. It's not just anybody. It's also the fact that I just like the posture. I said, listen, I'm gonna need you
I
if
am
you got
getting
a
my black
body
people
like this, I'm gonna
confused.
need you to sit like that in front of me in any conversation, any form, manner, forever and a day, because this is outstanding.
Oh, it's
Outstanding.
Nate Burleson who does the Nickelodeon one, but
None of
you
these
know what?
things.
Did he
Hello, South Africa. I love it.
oh, he was never on CBS. I am getting my black people mixed up. I'm sorry.
He's the one who talks with the lisp. He talks like
Yeah, I guess that's why they probably
everyone
don't let
knows
him
him
on
for
TV.
that
Maybe he's on
too.
Fox. One of them's on Fox. I thought that.
Football.
I
And
th-
he's like oh, it's really snowing.
yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah, I'm excited about snow, except for the fact that I have to leave my house in it.
Oh no.
I don't wanna hide this on I don't wanna let this picture go yet, but I will.
Who am I
Bye, Shay
thinking
Shay
of?
LaFon. Bye.
Maybe it was Sterling Sharp.
I love that look too. Oh God. God bless you.
Yeah, he was man spreading. Good one, Mike.
Ooh.
Yipes.
Where's
That is
my
the
fan?
last way I would interview somebody.
God, I'm hot.
He's not going to say
Mike just said I think he was on Fox.
okay.
I wish he was on my face. That's what I wish. All right. Sorry.
He used to do that when who's that guy that gets high all the time? Now I'm thinking of Shannon Sharpe. I can't get it out of my head. The other black guy that we like that's always high. He's a comedian. Sherrod. My God. Now I have a senior moment. Uh, it's just not called menopause for men. When Sherrod would make out with his girlfriend at the time, Marissa, I would always do
Oh, you would do that? Oh, that's funny.
because they were black and white. It was shocking to me.
So this thing broke the internet. I mean,
I'm ready now.
it's
Okay,
kind
now.
of like crazy how no one is talking about Chappelle's special and people are talking
Oh,
about
Chappelle's special just came out
exactly
like today.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve. What is that? His 10th special?
I don't know. Does someone
was-
out there know? We
I was
don't
just
have a
talking to Dave
how
Attell
about
about it.
my young
I guess Dave Attell just got a Netflix
intern?
special, and
Duncan, do you know? Can you look that up? How many specials is this for Dave Chappelle? What I
well,
love about Duncan is he's so young. He's not like he's not around the comedy. Like not everyone is into comedy like we are. So a lot of people he didn't know.
I'm not even into it.
Well, obviously. That's why Colin Quinn gets upset every time we bring your name up.
I know.
It's so funny. Did you enjoy yourself on New Year's Eve?
I had a much better time than last year when I guess I don't know, something was wrong with me. So yes, I did, and I got invited by Noam and his wife to sit at the table without the comics.
Oh,
So
there was no room for us to sit anywhere.
right, but because it's his friends and family, so I was very honored to sit at the table.
Yeah. Would have
And
been nice if we had somewhere to sit.
yeah, what are you going to
Since
do?
we were the ones who were working.
Well,
And
you should try and be more friendlier with the owner and
I'm
his wife.
no,
And
maybe
maybe
also
once in a while, if you just told his wife that she was really pretty, that
why would
might
I do
work.
that? I told her she looked like Beyonce serving brownies.
Yeah, see, that's not going to get you at the big boys table.
I told her that she looked like Beyonce. That wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I was like, there were some people who were
I
really upset about. I'm not going to say any names.
about not sitting at the table? Yeah, but that's the way it is
Oh,
every year. He invites his friends and family.
no. Last year, the booth, we were sitting in a booth. Remember?
Yeah.
There was no booth for us.
Oh, well,
There was nothing.
Listen, New Year's Eve, I agree that there should be some more room
Something.
for the comics.
Comics were standing. They were awkwardly standing. They had nowhere to be. And they had their couples. They had their mates. On New Year's Eve, you bring your
I know, but this
partner.
is what the owner does, and he makes it about him that night. And
Listen, I'm
like I
going to
said, I
tell you
was happy.
something.
I got to sit
Manny always made sure the comics were taken
just
care of.
once a year. He
That's
does
what
it,
it's
whatever.
a very important part of the year.
Well,
And
all I know
there's
is I
no
had
show.
nothing to
There's no
do.
money without the comics.
I had nothing to do, and I was glad I was
There's no
invited
show.
somewhere.
There's nothing without comedians.
I got to sit next to my friend from CNN.
Do you know that? There's nothing without the comedians. If all those comedians left, there's no money.
Nah, I think he could work it out.
I'm just telling you, the old school comedians, I'm not going to say no names. They were the ones, they were highly upset.
Sure. Why wouldn't they be?
You should be taking care of the people who take care of you.
I don't think anybody's thinking that way on New Year's Eve. He's thinking that way.
I don't think anyone intentionally did it.
Right.
I'm just saying that it should be considered for next year. It should be a consideration.
Well, it's
I don't
not
think
going to be
anyone
because they didn't consider it.
I don't think
the year
anyone
before.
went out of their way to go like, "Hey, I don't want you
But
to
I think
sit."
it goes in cycles. Last year we had a booth, right, with Lois and you and everything, right?
I just think
I think it's just like it just goes in flows, and people leave, and people I don't know what you're actually talking about, because then at 11:30 I left that table and moved to a booth with George and his wife and his daughter.
You were invited. We were not allowed.
No, but that's where I sat.
We were told we couldn't go.
Oh, you were told you could not sit in a booth.
Yes.
Oh, that's hilarious. Dave Juskow rules again.
Yes.
Yay for me, finally.
Yes, we were told.
Oh,
and
that's hilarious.
Maybe that was the mistake. Maybe the person who was telling us that was not supposed to be saying that, but we were told, no, you cannot sit there. And then the tables that were.
This is the first time I'm hearing this.
Ooh, well, you ain't gonna hear it. You ain't gonna be the last.
Odd. Since when I first came in, I sat with you and I took your seat, and I sat with you and Rachel. So I didn't see any of this, and then I sat in the big table, and then I moved to a booth with George and his wife and stuff.
Everyone who was coming in was fighting to get a seat. And then there were people who were coming in with their partners who didn't have any. They were standing.
Well, clearly Jim Norton's wife should not have been there. I'm kidding. I'm making fun. I never met her before. I didn't even know he was married.
She was beautiful.
Very beautiful. He's terrific. I didn't notice, and I'm sorry that's the case.
Of course you didn't notice, because you were invited to the table.
Well, like I said, that's why
why would you notice?
I get that's exciting
This
that I
is
got
something you would
invited.
normally get upset about.
Oh my God, you got that
Exactly.
right. I would have complained about that for the rest of my life
So why are you like challenging me now?
because I'm so glad it's finally happened to somebody else, not me. Usually I'm the one on the outside.
Listen, I
So.
don't think anyone did anything intentionally, by the
Right.
way.
No, I don't think so
I
either.
think it was one of those things where it's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." Like we invited these people, a lot of people came. We had more people that came this year than but I do think like some of the older comedians who've been there forever who known felt a certain way. I'm not going to say no names.
Well, Lois shouldn't be there. So
Lois
that's
is
the issue.
Lois is basically my partner at this
That's
point.
the issue. She, out of all the people,
Juskow loves
shouldn't
to
be.
leave the world behind.
So true.
That's so funny.
But then, after midnight, I took off so anybody could have a table.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, after
no,
midnight,
no.
who cares,
I know,
right?
I know. I'm just
But
kidding. I
before
wish you had
midnight,
come over. I wish we could have spent some more time. I wish you could have come over to the bar a little bit and just had one more drink. That would have been nice. I actually ended up sitting outside
I
because it
told
wasn't that
Dan,
cold.
I told Ray Ellen, they were both tired. They
Tired.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
You don't know what tired is?
Well, no, I understand, but once you're out, you just want to keep it going. I mean,
They were
see,
they
for
were
me,
working though. You weren't working. You were having a
oh,
good
that's
time.
true. I love when you say you having a good time.
But
Remember in the
that's
car?
the thing is like I would have actually gone, but my ride wasn't
Uh-oh.
going. And she said, "Thank you for the compliment." The one who threw the biscuit at your head, Lois.
I said she looked good, right?
You said she looked pretty, and I showed her, and she said, "Tell him I said thank you."
Yeah, she did look pretty. Um, the thing was that I think for me, I had it's that week is a very difficult week for me. I know it's your birthday week, and that I'm glad you were able to be good with that. That week between Christmas and New Year's is really difficult for me. Christmas is obviously an issue since nobody invites me anywhere. Why should they? And then, I'm like, what am I going to do for New Year's? And every January 1st, I'm like, next year I'm going to have a date, or something. And of course, it never works out. So I get very depressed. So I think this euphoria comes over me at about 12:05 that I've done it and it's over. And I went out. And then that's when I actually want to party, not because it's New Year's, but because I'm like, oh, it's done. I made it. And so I stayed out till like 2, just like not going crazy, but I just sat at the bar by myself and just drank. And
Well, we did a little dance, remember? You don't
yeah,
remember?
no, when did we do that dance?
You came over like,
Oh,
hey.
I think so too, Mike. I think Lois and I can patch things up.
Oh, you want me to do my Bill Burr? There's a debate about my Bill Burr impression. About
I don't
like
even know
I've
who you're
kind of
talking.
lost my voice, so I probably can't even do it anymore because he's probably upset. He's like, Jesus Christ, this woman's doing a Bill Burr impression of me, and she's not even that good at it.
By the way, um, are you? Everybody's talking about getting sick, and this RSV thing is around.
I've had like, but I got it from my niece over the holidays. She had like a
Oh, you
cold.
you got the RSV thing?
No, I've had like a
Oh, from your holiday, right? No, I'm saying after the holiday, everybody's like,
what is the symptoms of RSV? Do you know?
It's a respiratory thing, just like COVID, I guess, but it's like more effective than COVID at this point, which is kind of funny that people like don't. If you have COVID and you test positive for COVID, you wait 5 days or whatever, and you got to do all this. But there's a worse virus around more than COVID. But we're so obsessed with COVID, nobody seems to care about this RSV. I just called my friend Chris today, and he said he had it, and he sounded horrible. Yeah, a lot of people with bronchitis lately, right? There's a lot, but this is normal for this time of the
And
year.
scabies.
I guess we just kind of look at it differently now.
There's scabies too.
I don't know what that is.
That's
I
a
thought that was
skin.
something when you wear your underwear. Oh, that's skivvies.
Did I say it wrong?
No,
Oh, I just know because my dermatologist put up a post about how scabies in New York City it's back and it's bad
well,
and it's
everything's coming
contagious.
back,
It's
but
a
that's
skin.
why it's really good that you are taking precautions, and because it's all out. So you and me both. I
I
mean, the only precautions I take, the stupid subway, and you take the subway a lot. I have that. That's the only time I have that mask on. That subway is a hot pot to get sick, and since I've been wearing that mask, I've never gotten sick.
What is the difference between the subway and a comedy show?
I don't know. Like comedy show seems to have ventilation, and the subway clearly does not.
The
And you're
subway
boxed in just
has
with a bunch of jerk offs
if
too.
the subway doesn't derail, it does. It has those little windows where they open it up.
But they never open them, especially this time of the year, they're fully closed. And does it ever help with the windows open? You're still in a tunnel. Where's that air going? You know how bad it is. I mean, before masks and COVID, before we started wearing masks, I mean, when somebody would sneeze in the subway, that was the worst thing that ever happened to me. I would always try and through my breathe out and breathe through my nose, like that would help because I could picture the germs being near me. So when people sneeze out, I'm wearing that mask, and I'm like, I know I look stupid with that mask, but I couldn't be happier when somebody sneezes on the subway wearing that mask or coughs or whatever.
Oh, I have been sitting in the clubs, and I'm like, when someone sneezes and I have my mask on, I'm like,
Yeah, no, I know you're brave to wear it in the clubs too. I just,
I only
I
take it
can't
off
wait
on
to take my
stage and
I
when I
take
have
my
to
mask
talk.
off as soon as I get out on the street.
It's hard. I lost my voice because I was shouting over because the band was playing. They were great,
Oh,
by the
me
way.
too. I lost my voice on New
So
Year's
I
as well.
lost my voice because I was trying to shout with the mask
Yeah.
on, and also I had like from my niece having her cold, I got a little so everything the combination. I lost my voice. The first night I went on stage, I always love it when I lose my voice. I feel like I have such a cool like comedy voice, and I swear to God, the audience likes it too. They love like comedians that have that raspy like
Yeah.
what is that voice? Who's a Kathleen Turner?
Yeah, well, hers is bad. Sally Kellerman would be a good example of somebody
Who's
that has a
that? I don't know who that is.
she's the woman in Back to School, the love interest for Rodney Dangerfield. She was in MASH and stuff. Her voice is kind of like that. Kathleen Turner's voice became that from just too many cigarettes and
And eating food.
kind of gross. Exactly.
Is she still with us?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just so messed up. Teaching this class, and where Kathleen Turner was so huge in the 80s, and I don't mean weight wise, so pretty and sexy, and they were using her for sexy movies, and then just blow up literally. Like,
That movie with Nicolas Cage is one of my favorite movies. Was that
who's that?
Kathleen Turner, Nicolas Cage, and when she goes back into high school,
Oh, of course, Peggy Sue Got Married,
Peggy Sue got
directed
married.
by Francis Ford Coppola.
That's one of my favorite movies. I've watched that so many times.
Really, you really like that one, huh?
I loved that movie.
So it's an interesting one. When they were doing, time Back to the Future changed everything, so everybody's doing time travel movies. So she did one. That is a good movie. But
It's
Nicolas
such a
Cage
great idea to go
he's so
back.
good, but he's also bad in it too. Like it's like he's fun.
Yeah, he was so funny though bad.
But
And
he's like,
also like
Peggy Sue, feed me, charge me, make her love me. I mean, his character was
when
stupid,
he's
but I
like
loved it
walking
anyway.
the dog and he's like, I don't know, man.
He
You
was so
can't
cute.
even play a high school.
You know who his friend was in that? His best friend in that movie is Jim Carrey before he was Jim Carrey.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
But my favorite actor in that movie, who you'll appreciate, but maybe you didn't know it was him, is the nerd who, comes up with the plan to send her back. That's the
Oh,
guy.
that's right.
That's Bobby C from Saturday Night Fever. Hey, Tony, I thought you said you was going to call me. You never called me. Why don't you call me, Tony? Hey,
Oh, you're
Tony.
so
Yeah,
right.
and he plays Ralph Garcia in Fame. I mean, that guy was a really terrific actor. I mean, he was really something else. I
But
believe the story is, I think his name is Barry Miller. He told Scorsese to go fuck himself, and he never worked again. Major bummer. I mean, if you could play Bobby C from Saturday Night Fever, that kind of nerdy, even but grew up with the tough guy. Then you play Ralph Garcia in Fame, like a Hispanic troublemaker, but has a lighter side, and then the big nerd. Just from everybody knows in school from Peggy Sue.
everyone
That's
has to.
great acting.
It's kind of interesting that I've said this years ago. I said it on the Nightly Show. Like this expectation that actors, comedians are like good people. Stop it.
Who
They're
says
not.
that?
The dysfunction is
But
what makes the artist.
Oh, I see. But
Seriously.
who's good people? I mean, it's very rare when you actually meet somebody or heard about somebody that's actually delightful. We're all weird.
We were talking about Chevy Chase
Oh, he's
on,
horrible.
I've
Oh my
heard,
God.
like,
Holy
you
shit. And like, okay, but Chevy has always been horrible and hard to work with. I mean, since we've met him through Saturday Night Live, that cast hated him. And when he came back, that story of him and Bill Murray, whether that's true or not, but he's apparently extremely difficult. But then I've heard, like, recently, my friend is a nurse at a hospital here in the city, and he was there for a week or two, and the staff hated him, and he was so racist and horrible. Like, he's the worst. Let alone, you heard probably what happened with Community and how Dan Harmon feels about him. I mean, he is disliked
What did he do
because
in
he's
what did he do in the like, as far as racist goes? Do you know?
she told me, and I cannot remember, but it was very anti-black and stuff like that. That he might have been yelling at the nurses who might have been black. Remember my friend who we know that it was that hospital, the hospital
Yes,
you were
yes,
at.
yes.
And my friend told me all that because she was there
Well,
the
that
whole time.
hospital is a bit of a mess.
Well, you hate it now, but you liked it back then.
Now, did he?
I
What did
talked
he?
to my friend about your situation there, and she's like, "It's just bad.
No,
we
the
are
new place that I
understaffed."
went to, they knew. They said we're not surprised. They haven't recovered since
They
the
haven't
pandemic.
recovered since COVID. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, she works so many hours because yeah, it's true.
So
And it's such
did
a bummer with the Chevy, but the fact that just one other thing about Chevy Chase is that, he was such a hero to guys my age, such a hero. But the reason we liked him is because he was a dick. And, his dickiness comes through in his acting. So
what about on Community though? I never heard anything about him
oh my
being.
God. I think it's even on Wikipedia. The guy who created the show and him did not get along. And Chevy was just a dick, and he should have been grateful he was on a show at that point. So they finally got rid of him, and I think killed off his character, and everybody was happier. But I just, it's a documented thing that him and Dan Harmon did not get along. And my friend Dino has told me the exact same thing. I mean, he can tell us examples.
I said this to we were talking about it at the cellar, and I said, yeah, I had a friend whose mother lived next to him. My friend's mother was very wealthy, lived next to him in California, and she said he was awful. And Jim Norton goes, "You should do a podcast called that."
Chevy Chase is awful.
Just because my sentence was awful.
Now that you mention it, also, now that I think about it, he did something really dicky at Howard Stern's wedding too. Like something really not right. I forget about it because I think that might have been 20 years ago now. But I remember, Howard was excited that he was there, but then he like made a very off-color toast. He's a dick. But that's why he got famous. We enjoyed his dickiness. But it's the exact opposite of somebody like Don Rickles, like who turned out to be one of the sweetest people.
William Sadler? Who's William Sadler?
Yeah, I don't know who that is. I saw that.
You mean William Shatner? Who's
No, I've heard William Shatner's a dick too.
Or Adam Sandler?
I've definitely heard Adam Sandler's a nice fella.
Yeah, it's like back in the day, there weren't too many good people, right? There's like Bing Crosby was
Oh my God.
abusive,
Guy,
wasn't he?
yeah, I mean, he was like one of the first people without social media that was found to be a complete dick to his family and to his kids, and possibly used to beat his children. That like the Joan Crawford one, remember?
Oh,
the
death in
stuff?
Bill and Ted movies?
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Bing Crosby was like one of the first people, like where his kids got older and they were able to like, hey, our dad sucked. Like
not Betty Davis,
Joan
Joan Crawford.
Right. Remember, like once the kids grew up, they were like, oh my God, my mother was a holy terror. And that kid was adopted too. So
that's the part, is like she adopted the poor child.
That's
and
the
did
worst.
all that.
When, somebody you finally get a family and then they're just awful. We probably don't even hear about 3/4 of the stuff, but yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes douchebags. People get jealous. You know what's a hilarious one? David Cassidy's father, Ted Cassidy, I think that's his name. Jack Cassidy. Guy was on Columbo every week, always as the villain. So he was so jealous that David Cassidy became famous that he was just the biggest dick.
We just lost one of the stars from Starsky and Hutch.
Really? I didn't hear about that today.
I think it was
David
yesterday.
Soul or Paul Michael Glazer? Or was
The
that
blonde,
David Soul? He
David
died?
Soul. Yeah,
He couldn't have been that old.
he was
He
not.
was in Salem's Lot
He just passed away. Don't go
today.
luck on a baby. Nothing, nothing, no, no.
What song are you doing?
That's the song he sang.
Oh, that's right. He did have a song.
Aren't you impressed that I know this?
I am very impressed,
Well,
David.
the only reason I know this is because it was on the news and I saw it. And I was like, oh my God, he did that song. I love that song.
Died January 4th,
He was
2
80.
days ago. Yeah.
Mm. Hey, Juskow, can I tell you that I got assaulted on New Year's Eve?
All right. I didn't hear about that, but it makes sense.
Why? I
You
look
go
good.
because you don't know how to manipulate the city. You're a hot girl just walking around taking the subway at night. I don't know what you're expecting.
No.
The stuff
I
you
got
wear, the
assaulted
things
by
you
someone.
wear, those high heels and
I
all that
don't wear
stuff, you're
heels.
asking for it.
I wish I wore heels. I can't do it. I don't know who wears heels these days.
No, I
But
didn't hear what happened.
yeah, it
Was
was
it at
at this.
night or before?
Listen, I'm not gonna say who it was. It was a young comic.
Oh. It
Yes.
was I thought it was wow.
Yeah,
At the Cellar?
yeah, and he's apparently he's banned, but he came up to me. He was wasted. I didn't know he was wasted. He just looked happy. And at my age, and it's like I said, it's been such a long time. I was confused. I didn't even know I was being like it wasn't a bad assault. I'm exaggerating by saying assault, obviously, but
Yeah.
it's sort of like yes.
It made you
So,
uncomfortable.
no, I wouldn't say I was
No?
uncomfortable. I was
Oh.
confused. I'm not
Well,
one to get.
what did he do exactly?
Well, he hugged me while his hand was on my ass,
Oh my.
resting.
Oh.
The
Yeah, that is
first
bad.
time. The first time it was a rest. So I didn't really know. I was like, is that it felt like his hand he had a thin hand, so I was like, is his hand on my ass? And then
Mm.
I was so confused. And then I was like, maybe it's just my ass. I had put some weight
Right.
on in my
Right.
butt, so
Oh.
maybe there's nowhere for the
No,
hand to
right.
go.
At first you're trying to think this can't be happening. Right.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly right. I was like, this can't be
It's like
happening.
when you get mugged and a guy pulls out a gun and you're like, "Is this a joke?" Because you can't believe it is happening to you when it's happening.
Oh, it's a thin hand. I could show you the hand. It was a very thin. If you look on on my Facebook page, there's a picture of me saying thank you for all the birthday. There's a thin hand just sitting there waiting to palm my ass.
And he said he's one
Now,
of the newer comics?
yes, and so now the second time goes around. He's following me to my next spot because I had
Oh.
two, and I went and did this. And he's like, "I'm gonna watch you and take notes." And I was like, "Why?" He goes, "Because you're Marina Franklin. Come on, don't you know?" And I was like, "I don't." And then I I forgot, I do joke about dating. I used to date young guys. He's a young guy, but I'm joking. Like I don't do it anymore. I've also said in my act I don't do that anymore. The court said I can't. So uh when I got off stage, he said that was great and he hugs me full cup.
Wow.
Like he's like
Who the
and
fuck
he's
is this
saying that's
guy?
so great and it's just there the whole time.
Did he get banned after this happened?
I don't know.
'Cause he told
I
somebody?
heard yesterday that he was banned, but I'm not even done. Okay, so now
Right.
listen, I didn't slap him or anything because that's just
Sure.
not who I am. I'm more of a person who's like, I think that's happening. Is that
But
happening?
that's what I'm saying. You don't even know it's happening. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you
And then I
get
was like, no, that's a fool.
when you went home, you thought about it and you're like,
No, I
that
didn't
ain't
go home. I addressed it. That's why I said, wait for it. So
oh.
like then the third time
Third time?
it takes a while for me to get an assault because it's been so long that I'm like, wait, I haven't felt that because part of me is like processing a hand on my ass in
I
itself.
think it's what Mr. Noise is saying. He was testing the limits.
He was drunk, okay, and then I go over to this back over to the main room, and like I said, there's nowhere to sit, so we're standing. It's crowd. Now he's like walking towards me and it kind of brushed my breast. And I said, now listen, that's where I go. Hey, listen, you. something about your hands ain't supposed to, they are landing on parts of my body where they should not be. I don't know if you're aware of it. And he goes, I'm so, yeah. Yeah, no, they're where they're supposed to be.
Oh my God, that was his response? Is he out of his mind? He just wanted to talk himself out of working there.
I
Jesus
said to
fucking
him, do
Christ.
you understand? You are, I said, listen, don't do that. I said, you're lucky you're dealing with me because I'm going to tell you right now, like, if you had someone else, you would be canceled right now. You would be in so much trouble. I'm telling you, don't do that.
And how did he
I said,
react to
do
that?
not put your hands where they are not supposed to be. He's like, I can't help it. You're so sexy, though. By the way, where you going to be later?
Really?
Yes.
What the
I
f
said, he's drunk.
That's really drunk.
And I said, no, 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 little boy. And he goes, I'm not little boy. I said, you're too young. You're too young. He goes, what's too young? I ain't too young. I said, you're too young.
Do I know who he is?
No, you don't. I said, you're too young. He goes, well, how old do you think I am? Whatever age that is too young. It don't matter. Keep your hands to yourself. Keep it moving.
I wonder if he did that to anybody else that night.
I don't, that's what I'm curious about because I've heard he's been banned. And I don't
Yeah.
know if it's, and I don't know like how long the ban is
Well,
for.
it sounds like if this is just a couple days ago or
I
exactly a week
know
ago.
I know Keith gave him a look. I know, like, I told Ray Ellen. Ray Ellen was like, it was really fun. Ray Ellen was like, do you want me to talk to him? You want me to handle this? I go, Ray, please. I could do, I could handle this better. Ray, I could beat you up. Seriously. Like, what are you going to do? I was like, and I'm not even, like, here's the thing. I'm not even that upset, right? Because it's a young kid and he was drunk. And obviously, I know he's new to the city and I know he's new to the scene. He's not getting the spots that he thought he was going to get there.
Mm.
So I don't know where his mental state is. I don't know what's going on. So I just was like, I kept saying to Keith, I said, someone needs to talk to this young man because he's in a lot of trouble and he's young. He's just starting his career. This ain't going to help his career at
No.
all.
Oh, it's bad. And if he's already banned from the cellar, took
Yeah,
a couple of years to get banned, you know.
he's done. He said I'll talk to him when he's sober because Keith gave him the old man, like, look, young man, look. You could see it in his eyes, you know.
Listen, son.
What is this like? Like drunk people do not know what they are doing, following urges.
Well, they don't, but you hope. God,
You would
you
think
know,
in this day and age that even when you're drunk, you would know that's not what to do.
right. So, I mean, I think I'm pretty lucky, I guess, in the sense that my drinking is pretty good. I do get drunk, but I usually am, my senses are still intact. I mean, maybe there's been twice in my life where I've just completely blacked out. In fact, I can remember the last one I saw Squeeze in Fountains of Wayne. It's just odd because the guy in Fountains of Wayne would become my friend, and he died of COVID. Such a sad thing that Adam Schlesinger so weird. But I remember him performing Stacy's mom on stage, and then everything went black.
Oh,
In fact, it was Diane. She was my date, and she had to get me home. Remember Irene's friend Diane?
no, I don't.
Oh yeah, she. I think you do. We haven't seen her in a long time, and she was my date. She. I don't even know what happened. I feel like I might have been slipped something because I've never been that wasted. I think I lost. I think I lost $100 bill. I was like, "Hey, everybody, drinks are on me." You know, they lost it somewhere, and then I didn't have any money to get home. I've never been that wasted like
I'll
that.
tell you what's going on right now in the audiences. The edibles are there's a
Oh
lot
my
of
God,
people
yeah.
who don't um who are new to marijuana and edibles
Yeah.
and they're in the audiences. I was on stage and someone was carried out. I had to stop because I didn't know what it was that was happening until after I got off, but I knew someone had passed out. I was like, is there a doctor? Here I am. I was like, is there a doctor in the room? Like, I don't just keep going. I was just like, this is not
Wow.
funny. I said, so let's just wait
I never even
till they
thought about that, that the edibles are the new thing, that everybody's been doing, and you
they've
think
been
it's a
passing
mellow
out
high,
and
but right,
you
they
can't
pass out, they don't,
because
and
when I
because it's
was
legal.
And when I was young, I didn't know. I would drink, what was it? Liquor before beer, always in the clear. Beer before liquor, never sicker.
I don't know. I usually have beer after liquor. That beer is my winding down, like having a glass of water after.
So
So,
liquor before beer, always in the clear.
oh yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I'll open with scotch or a martini, whatever, and then uh, wind the night down with beer.
Yeah. See, there you go. You're doing it right.
Thank
But
you.
then nowadays, if you have an edible and you're doing all that,
Oh no, no, no. Oh my God, yeah, no. Well, that's the thing. So for years, I was drinking and smoking pot at the same time. Now it's very difficult to combine the two, being older. But yeah, it messes you up complete. I mean, that's when you
the
get
spinning. Have
yeah.
you ever had that?
Oh my God, yes, it's the worst.
Oh, I used to
It's the
in
worst.
Syracuse, when I went to Syracuse, oh my god, the drinking, the partying as I was young. Like, I look at it now and I go, "How could you do that to yourself?" But back then, I now when I look back, I go, "Wait a minute, I did that."
Yeah, and it was
And I
awesome.
used to pass out on my bed
Oh,
and
the
be like, "I
spins. Oh,
can't. It's still going."
no, the spins are the worst. You can't explain it to, unless you've been there, where everything is teetering off like you're yeah, that the spins is the wrong word for it. It's like your balance is off. Oh, it's the worst,
It's
and then
the
you totally
worst.
throw up and
Throw
ugh.
it and it's like, I saw a girl, I swear to God, on New Year's Eve. I mean, I saw, like, see, in New York, it's so dangerous to be in that situation. Like, in Syracuse, it's kinda like upstate New York, New York City, you can die, you could get killed. Like, you gotta be careful if you're a female walking around these streets getting all
So,
wasted like that.
I took the subway home around 3 in the morning, which I would never do, but it was New Year's, and that's normal. And the difference of
If
the
you
people
had
on the
been
subway
friends with Lois, you coulda gotten a ride.
oh, that's okay. I wanted to stay out a little later. So I took it about 3 in the morning, and there was all these white girls on the train, dressed up with short skirts and just riding the train and stretching out on the seats. That, you are looking for trouble. And then this guy came on and he starts talking to him, and he's, you know, it's bad.
It's
And you usually
dangerous.
see that on New Year's. That's the difference. The only ever time I see white people like that at that hour acting that way is, well, it's a different way, but when they
"Hey,
come back
Mr.
from
Goodbar,
the US Open on the
you
7
know who
train
you
and it's 1
are."
in the morning, you're like, why are people wearing sweaters, where they wear the sweaters over their, things like, what the hell is happening? Why are all these white people on the train at this hour? And uh,
I
it's
saw
the
a
US
girl,
Open.
listen to this, Juskow,
And it's not just white, it's just like they're
the
different, better dressed.
across from right next to the by the Blue Note, like, in between the Blue Note and that club on the corner with the music, I forget that place. There's a spot where they have, like, weird
Another
food.
music place? Oh, right, yes, I know what you're talking about, right on McDougal, that spot with
Yes,
the music, right.
and there's a spot where they have, like, food I would never
Right,
go in and
Dunkin' Donuts
get,
back in the day too.
like pizza, and it's not the Ben's pizza, it's the weird pizza and stuff,
Oh, there's
and
another one? There's
yeah,
another
there's
pizza place
but
on
it's,
that
like,
block?
between 7-Eleven, it's, like,
Oh, oh god,
not
that place looks
7-Eleven, but
horrible.
further but closer
Yeah,
to
that
the
place looks gross. Yeah,
anyway, that's not the point.
yeah.
There's a girl who was passed out, like, she was falling drunk, like, she was nodding, right? Her girlfriend was going in to get her. She's like, "I'm gonna get you a slice of pizza. I'm gonna get you." Meanwhile,
It's helpful.
she's falling over, and I kid you not, Jessica, this is gonna gross everyone out. So if you can't handle it, just prepare yourself like a stack of doo doo.
Ew! Oh my god, a stack of
And it
doo-doo.
was human.
Wow,
And
yikes.
she was like, she was like this, white
Oh,
girl, and she was like doing this. And I said to her friend, I go, "Get your friend. She's falling into the doo doo." And her friend goes, her friend's drunk too. So her friend's like, "Thank you. Thank you so much." I go, "Get your friend." She's sitting in the area
oh,
where they
oh,
usually sit. And I was just like horrified. I was like, that is the worst. That you're
that is
so
actually
drunk
it's
that you
actually
don't
the
know
worst.
that there is just shit, like,
Yeah. Oh
literally,
god.
like, it's right there.
Oof. That was on New Year's also?
Yeah,
When you were heading home?
as we were heading home, I was like, "Oh my, oh my." Duncan says St. Patrick's Day too. Yeah, St. Patrick's Day. Duncan, you're right. St. Patrick's Day, I don't go out.
Me neither.
You're absolutely right. I don't go out on St. Patrick's Day. I forget
No,
that.
that's the worst. I
That
mean,
and Santa Con.
SantaCon. Oh my God.
It's
Two
chilled.
days that are horrible for Jews to go outside.
But Santa Con is not what it used to be.
You saying it's better?
I think they're doing some control.
I think you're absolutely right. There is a whole bunch of places that have said SantaCons are not welcome, and then there's a bunch of places. So if you go to the SantaCon website, the official website, which they have because I looked on it for pictures the other day, it's supposed to be giving away to charity as well, but nobody knows where it goes. They have a map of the approved places you're allowed to go, which allow SantaCon people to go in. So you're right. They did figure it out because remember when it first started, it was such a mess that these bars were like, "What the fuck is happening? What's happening at 2 PM that all these rowdy people are coming in?"
All these rowdy Santa Clauses.
Yeah, exactly. It must have been terrifying. So
and it's
yeah,
supposed
I
to be
think you're right.
donating money to,
That's
and
what
they
I'm
say
saying.
that's a very small percentage.
Supposed to be donating money. It's it's brilliant. I mean, whoever put it together, brilliant.
But no money is going to anyone.
No, of course not. And everybody knows that too. But at least whoever put it together is an absolute genius. No. We have donate. We goes to donate. We have a charity. What is that charity?
What
is that charity?
What is that
You
charity?
asking me what the charity is? I would have to look that up and get back to you on that. And I'll let you know.
How about, did you see the judge, the guy jump over the judge and attack the judge while he was being sentenced?
When was that? I've missed
You
everything.
have not seen that?
I haven't left the house in 5 days. That's why I have a beard and I don't think I've
Oh
even showered.
my God. Let me see if I can find it before we go.
I stopped going out because I ran out of money.
It was like I guess you're not on Instagram. Are you? Do you watch?
Yeah, sometimes I go through those.
Do you go to
stories,
the gram?
Yes. I go through the reels because you can get lost in that.
Let me see if I can find it. It's usually
I've been trying to do a lot of work. I got my classes coming up in 2 weeks. I've been trying to prepare.
I'll tell you how to be hip.
So what I've been looking up on the internet is 80s movies and 80s stuff. So I am not current on anything that's happening in the real world. And I was used to like watching the local news, but then they keep going. It's just so horrible. I just couldn't take it anymore.
Okay, here we go. You ready? Yeah, here we go. I'm about to share it. This you're going to be. This shit was
and
on.
What you're about to say, if he's lashing at the judge, I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often.
The way this happened though is unbelievable. That's the point. It's okay, so it's starting here, but wait.
Oh, he got to the judge. He got there with additional.
It's not funny, but listen, the way he got this is the part, the angle they didn't show ever was that. So she's
the judge is a woman. Oh my goodness.
Yes, and she's giving him, after leaping, she's giving him a sentencing. She's telling him, basically that he ain't no good.
Whoa. Wow.
Like that's Olympic level.
Yeah, that's very impressive. They should let him off for that. What do you suppose he was getting sentenced for?
It says here, the man seen leaping over a Las Vegas judge podium days ago has been hit with 6 felonies, according to
leaping. I wanted, what was he being sentenced with?
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get the volume. Can you hear it?
In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court.
Security was right on.
That's so symbolic of America right now.
Yeah, but that's very
day, by the way.
Security was right on. He really didn't hit the judge. Yeah,
January 6th is the day that white people went crazy. So
I appreciate that, but I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court.
It says basically that he's a repeat offender and he needs jail time.
Yeah, but what did he do to be in that position that made him so angry?
It said Ren lawyers reportedly asked that he be granted. Let's see. I'm trying to see.
Because for me, if this was me and I was really mad at the judge and I thought she was being a bitch because I felt I didn't do anything and she's just making an example of me and I did that, I'd be thrilled about the extra charges because I was like, at least I taught that judge a lesson. I got to tell you.
Reddit has been charged with coercion with force.
Because it doesn't look like they're doing enough. There's 6 additional felonies that are battery. But how long is he in jail for?
I don't know.
I don't know. You know, I hate judges, so
I do too.
So you're with me.
So Reddit's lawyer reportedly asked that he be granted probation as
granted probation. How do you get probation from that?
Before, I'm trying to explain.
Sorry, you threw me off.
As we previously reported, Deborah has appeared in court for his sentencing in relation to an attempted body with substantial bodily harm charge. Before the judge could hand over the sentence in its entirety, Redding's lawyer reportedly asked that he be granted probation as he suffers from schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. Once the judge denied the request, he leaps over the podium.
So there's a problem with him mentally.
Yes.
And she's sentencing him and being a real bitch about it.
And I love the comments in the shade room. If you ever go to the shade room, the comments are so black and so beautiful and so funny. And what the judge gonna get charged with for? Antagonizing?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. Right.
That's me doing I shouldn't do that. Every now and then I go into my black accent and it's offensive.
It's perfect.
So they're going back and forth about she got a taste of something too.
Yeah, see, that's the way I felt.
First off, he was in there for assault and had multiple prior domestic violence charges, which is why she denied his probation. Y'all take up for anybody without knowing the facts. Antagonize him. He clearly doesn't like being told no, or he wouldn't be there to. So apparently this guy is the one who assaulted me on New Year's Eve.
Oh, that's what I was saying, Kathleen Bell. That clerk pounced pretty fast too. Kathleen also said something else before that I saw. Oh, Joe McHale had no problem telling Chevy stories on podcasts. That he is a dick from Community. Anyway.
All right, we gotta go.
Thank you for showing me that. I can't believe I missed that.
Yeah, you never saw that?
No. I'm telling you, I'm in this 80s bubble right now. Get
out of it. Come on,
I can't.
man.
It's exciting. I'm having a good time.
Well, it's the holidays. It's okay. Did you do the Twilight Zone thing marathon?
I was more watching The Odd Couple this year.
Oh, I don't know. It's every year I do the Twilight Zone. This year, kind of, it wasn't doing it for me.
It wasn't doing it for me either. So I went comedy instead. I went Honeymooners and Odd Couple.
Yeah. Well, hey
I
guys,
I saw The Odd Couple.
I want to thank you all so much for being here with Juskow and I today on the Friends Like Us Live. We haven't done a review of the podcast because there hasn't really been anything. Because the past 2 weeks we've just been showing our favorite episodes, like we have the Sarah Cooper. Sarah Cooper is the one who's on TikTok, who was doing the Trump impersonations on TikTok that went viral. And she's not doing that anymore, but she is on stage talking about him. So it's pretty funny. And what I would suggest is just go to the Friends Like Us podcast. It's Friends Like Us 10 on Instagram, or Friends Like Us podcasts on Instagram, right? Let me make sure. Hold on. I should know my own shit. Here we go. Yeah, it's Friends Like Us podcast on Instagram. Okay, here, I'll just show you just in case you don't know who she is. I'll show you this real fast before we go. I know we're going over time, sorry. But I want you to know who she is because
but I don't want to. Doing something just to try to go viral is the most sickening, awful, disgusting feeling. Like, I don't want to do that. I want to do things that make me happy and that make me giggle. Like you want to feel grateful. I want to feel grateful, but I love giggling. And if I'm giggling when I'm making something, that's the best. I realize now that when I write a joke and I think, oh, this is good, it's terrible. But if I write a joke and I'm giggling when I'm writing it, like that's good. So like I'm going after the feelings now. I'm like, make myself giggle. That's what I want.
Giggling in the new year. Anyway, we gotta go. Juskow, you want to tell our viewers where they can find you and your show that you do every Tuesday,
every
right?
Tuesday. That is the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show every Tuesday on YouTube. Russ Maniv might be our guest this week down in the studio. I'm trying to have this Israeli comic on, but she's out of town. Do you know her? Mash Or, I think her name is, or Mash. I mixed them up. Anyway, she's really cute. And
Is she funny?
I have no idea. That's why
I don't know why I did that. I did that in an offensive Jewish accent. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I did, but it was hilarious.
It just came out. I didn't even.
Also,
Ashkenazi
I will
roots.
be on that Stupid Petrix coming up in February, so on TBS.
What?
I'm the voice of some of the animals.
That is awesome.
I play the head writer dog.
Oh my God, that's so perfect.
Well, the best is I play the bunny rabbit, Jeff, who's really annoying, and he talks like Damone from Fast Times. So, hello.
Oh my God, that is
Hey,
so.
I thought we were all going gluten-free today. What's up with lunch?
Stupid Pet Tricks with
Sarah Silverman,
yes on
TBS.
yes. So check that out, everybody. And Marina Franklin, you know what? Just go to my website, marinayfranklin.com. I have some dates coming up at the Still Stacks in February. I've been there before. It's Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. So go and check me out just one night there. But go to my website, marinayfranklin.com. But most important, check out the podcast. We have a great episode coming, new one, brand new for the new year with all comedians, Pat Brown, Vanessa Fraction, Kenise Mobley. It's a wonderful episode to get acclimated with the podcast. And if you're new to all things Marina Franklin, most important thing is to check out that podcast because it's pretty damn good. All right. Make sure you wash your hands.
Yep.
Okay. We got scabies out here.
Scabies.
RSV. Wear your mask. And Black Lives Matter. Thank you so much, everybody. Happy New Year to you all.
Happy New Year.